Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic/Non-Classic. This is episode number 782 and Doubleshot number 676. Like I said last episode, a Superman trade and a Batman trade. First up it is, and they're both volume 6s, mind you. First up it is Superman, volume 6, Imperius Lex. Collecting Superman, volume 4, issues 33 to 36 and 30 to 41. Those are really curious though, where's 37, 38? That's Super Sons of Tomorrow crossover. That's basically what that is. The Imperius Lex crossover, the storyline. Yeah, this is follow-up something that happened in the pages of Action Comics, which that was a follow-up to something. This is actually sort of a loose follow-up to Men of Steel, which that was a follow-up to Darkseid War. Yeah, this pretty much wraps up a loose end from Darkseid War. The whole thing with Lex was being out apocalypse type of thing. Yeah. And it's a really good story. And Tomasi himself writes all the issues in here except for the last two. Those are done by James Robinson of all people. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. Now, I'm a little surprised he said to write the book. I'll get to his stories in a minute. Basically, it resolves the whole situation of being Lex being the guy of Apocalypse. Turns out he's not really the actual one. Yeah, and it turns out the person who's supposed to get it was actually Superman. I don't know why Tomasi decided to sort of do a little retcon there, but I guess Tomasi is trying to sort of tie up some stuff that Jeff Johns did. And plus also, he's ending his run as Superman. Of course, he just already did, but at this point, he was ending his run as Superman. Yeah, his this volume only went to 45 issues. Which, that's a little weird. Almost every other title we started #1 that's still publishing twice a month. All of them pretty much went to 50 issues and beyond. This is one of two that never did. The other, of course, was Justice League. Of course, that's something else for another time. I have reviewed the first trade, the Collector's Priest Rub. I haven't reviewed the second one yet. Yep. Excuse me. And with this particular storyline, we see the return of Calabac and the Female Furies. Nice to see these people. And I appreciate the artist Doug Mankey actually drawing them to be sort of pretty similar to how Jack Kirby drew these characters, which is really nice. And at the conclusion of the storyline, the Female Furies are actually in jail. I get throwing Granny Gill this, but why the Female Furies? Couldn't at least be used as whoever the new ruler of Apocalypse's bodyguards? As for Calabac, completely unknown what it did to him. At one point in the story, they even basically put out the fire pits of Apocalypse. That was a little weird to see. And of course, at the end of the story, Lex tears off his S, and it's implied he's turned back into a villain. Yeah, so you can kind of think Tomasi sort of loosely set him up, and Scott and I basically follow up with that. It's a really good story. 39 is basically just a standalone issue of Superman and Green Lantern take a group of kids, take a tour of the Watchtower, go to the moon. It's a great little story. The last two stories are by James Robertson. I should point out, though, this is the first time James Robertson actually written an issue of Superman since like the mid-2000s, since the whole new Krypton stuff. Yeah, he had not written it at some time. It had been, when these issues came out just this year, it had been a good, I'd say, 8 years since he written an issue of Superman. At least knows how to write Superman to be interesting. Yeah, that's one thing I gotta praise with Robinson. He actually does write Superman to be a pretty interesting character, and I do enjoy this guy's writing. And I am looking forward to when he starts up his run for Detective Comics really soon. Looking forward to that. And it's not the first time written Detective Comics. Last time written Detective Comics back in 2006. Look it up. I'm not kidding about that. It's just Superman and John going to this other planet, and they try to go save it. People don't listen to them, so they pretty much save the offspring of these people, and they sort of save their race from extinction. They can't save the planet, but they save the people from extinction. I also gotta say the whole thing with Lois and John going to Apocalypse, that was an interesting idea, and John freeing the Hunger Dogs, that was cool too, and Lois becoming a Female Fury. That was interesting. I like that. That's actually something new for Lois because I don't think she's ever done that before. As far as I know Superman's been to Apocalypse many times over the years. Lois has never been to Apocalypse. This is the first time I know of she's ever been. I know John, first time he's ever been that I can think of because, well, kind of makes sense for him because he's only been around for a few years. Lois has been around for pretty much as long as Superman. She's been around for 80 years, and she's never been off planet like this. I think she may have gone off planet once or twice pre-Flashpoint, like during like late 90s or 2000s. But going to Apocalypse, she has never been there before. I know Waller's been there, and she basically got into basically a brawl with Granny Goodness, which is probably one of the best fights of when the Suicide Squad went to Apocalypse of all things. Great storylines. I'm gonna give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Highly recommend basically this for Superman. It's really, really good. I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to reviewing Booster Shot and the Oz Effect. I'm really looking forward to reviewing those storylines from Action Comics. Yeah, I mean, in the case of this, I think there's by far one more trade left to go that collects this era, and I think it's just going to contain the last 4 issues. Probably a pretty short trade. That or probably something else. All right, next up it is Batman Volume 6, Bride or Burglar. Collecting Batman Volume 3 issues 38 to 44. Written by Tom King. Artwork by Mikel Janin and Julie Jones. Currently, Julie Jones is the artist for Catwoman. Yeah, she's a writer and artist for that book, with Laura Aldred as the inker. I think she's also the colorist as well. Mostly, this is a few different stories, spread over the course of 7 issues, and yes, I know what happened in issue 50. I'm still disappointed with Tom King for doing that, but I'm not sending the man death threats over it. That's stupid. These people would send death threats to the guy just because they didn't like what they did. I mean, I don't like what he did in issue 50, but I'm not sending the man death threats over it. The first issue is just a standalone with an insane kid who's kind of supposed to be another version of Thomas Elliot. Yeah, or a kid trying to be like Bruce Wayne and becomes insane. Next there's another Super Friends story, Super Friends Wonder Woman, where he has a team story with Wonder Woman, which also kind of is a loose setup for the Rainbow Batman Wonder Woman miniseries. Yeah, this is a quick little. I think it's a 3-parter. Yeah, I believe it's a 3-parter. Yeah, just basically Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman just on another world, another dimension, basically just age and come back perfectly normal. Yeah, it's a quick little 2-part story. Next up is Everyone Loves Ivy. Oh, I love this artwork. I think this is Mikel Janin's artwork. Let me check this. I believe this is Mikel Janin. Yeah. Kind of looks like also Clay Mann's artwork as well by looking at it. Yeah, but look at this artwork. It looks very much like Clay Mann's as well. Yeah, this is just a little brainwashing storyline. Yeah, it's the one storyline that takes up pretty much most of this trade. Yeah, it's Mikel Janin. Yep, this takes up the last like 5 issues of the trade. Yeah, it pretty much is just, well, another storyline that basically sets up the events of, well, the wedding, actually, yes. It's actually a quick little, I thought it was 5-parter, it's actually 4-parter. Yeah, in this particular storyline, Ivy sort of brainwashes everybody and tries to sort of attempt to make sure that Batman and Catwoman don't get married for some reason. And apparently Ivy is very happy with the fact that the Catwoman's happy. Though it's a little odd, though, that Batman does not say, he probably does kind of know, it's implied that he may know that Ivy and Harley they love each other. And I know Selina knows. Yeah, Selina knows. And it's interesting, though, they put Harley Quinn in this book, despite the fact she also appeared in Suicide Squad. Yeah. But the Everyone Loves Ivy story is a fantastic little 4-parter. The last issue is just a brief little standalone issue. It's just Batman's history with Catwoman. Well, first we have what looks like Catwoman in the Darwin Cook costume, which the costume itself she still wears this very day. But that's not the only costume she wears in here. She also wears the Golden Age costume. Yeah, this is generally referred to as the Golden Age costume. It's the first official costume she had. Yeah, she wears costume for a long period of time. She wore it even to the 80s. Yep. And then we have this green suit that she never wore, as far as I know. Yeah, I've seen very similar Catwoman costumes, and I don't remember this costume ever existing prior to this story. Yep. And then we have Catwoman in her 70s costume. Yeah, she wore this in the 70s. I believe it was in... Excuse me, I think it was in Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, number 60, I think it was. Yeah, it was an issue of that book where she first appeared wearing that costume. Back wearing the Golden Age costume again, and then she's basically wearing the Jim Fallon costume. Yeah, look at this costume. Yeah, it's the Jim Fallon costume. And then she's back wearing the present day costume. And the title of the story is simply the title of the trade, Bride of Burglar. The stories in here are fantastic, and it's basically just one story arc. Actually, it's 2 story arcs and 2 standalone stories. Really nice the fact Tom King actually did this. And it's really good because basically prior to doing stuff like this, he just basically did big epic stories. Yeah, he's basically trying to do a slow pace type of thing. We'll have occasional multi-parters. Just basically until the aborted wedding in issue 50. Yeah. But these issues are really good with this book. Also a 9.5 out of 10 is really good. Yeah. Also, Batman vs. Justice League. I guess that Tom King must have got inspiration for Scott Snyder. Have Batman fight a brainwashed Justice League. For like, no reason. Just because. The last time they were under control of Joker's gas. This time they're in control of basically Ivy's like lipstick, I think this. Yeah. But it's really, really good. Okay? So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for when I get a chance to the next episode. Which I think it might be on like possibly a couple more X-Men trades, okay? Actually it's Superman trades, but you'll find out what they are in the next episode, okay? But do see you there. Bye.